Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a memoir that's brimming with experiences of signs, synchronicity, and the search for meaning between
Yeah,
worlds.
absolutely.
It's a wild journey through grief, miracles, and spiritual encounters.
Right. It's like the writer took us on an emotional roller coaster, from the devastating loss of loved ones to these uncanny moments that feel as though destiny itself was orchestrating everything.
Yeah, exactly. The narrative begins with a prologue where, on August 17th, 2012, life is forever changed. Imagine stopping at your child's door in the middle of your day, feeling those gut wrenching words, "Why does he have to die?" It's not just a moment, it's a turning point.
Oh, for sure. And it sets the stage for the rest of the memoir, where every chapter feels deeply personal and yet strangely universal.
Mhm. Absolutely. The first chapter really hits hard with themes of grief. There's the Christmas Eve tragedy involving Michael, a moment that shatters a family, and then Nikki's passing. The memoir shows how loss changes us fundamentally.
Right. Yeah, and what struck me was how the signs started appearing immediately after Nikki's passing, like butterflies, billboards with the word Christ, even bees by the pool. It's almost as if the universe was dropping hints.
Right? It's like you see these signs and wonder if they're messages from a higher power. The writer also recounts meeting Teresa Caputo and receiving messages that validated his experiences, almost as if destiny was, well, confirming his path.
Yeah, that encounter really blurred the lines between coincidence and design. It made me think how much of what we experience is random and how much is, intentional synchronicity.
Exactly. And then there's the whole section about time shifts, those moments when the clocks seem to glitch and reality itself appears to bend. Waking up at 3:45 a.m., falling into a time loop, it's a head scratcher and adds a layer of science fiction wonder to his spiritual narrative.
Yeah, it's really something. I mean, as much as it boggles the mind, it also serves to illustrate the idea that time can be fluid and maybe even divinely orchestrated.
Right. The memoir is bold in that sense. It pushes you to consider the possibility that even our measure of time might be more than just numbers on a clock. It's like the author is asking us to trust in divine timing.
And then we move on to more down to earth, yet equally compelling chapters like the one set in Cracker Barrel. There's this whole segment about the memorial chair, where a simple diner becomes a stage for remembering lost souls.
Yes, that part is enchanting. It shows how everyday spaces, like a restaurant, can be sacred in their own right. The chair becomes a living memory, reminding us that even in loss, love
Absolutely.
endures.
I also love how the narrative weaves humor into these serious moments. The purple dinosaur, Santa Claus, even the whimsical presentation of wigs and prosthetic arms. It's both absurd and profoundly heartwarming.
Exactly. It's like the exaggeration of his persona opens the door to deeper truths. By disguising himself, he isn't hiding his pain, he's actually elevating it into art. And that transformation is a kind of
Right, yeah.
freedom. And then there's the twist with religion. His experiences at Ashley's church, where he's banned for simply being himself, really challenge our notion of sacred spaces. It's a stark critique of how sometimes institutions focus more on appearances than on genuine acceptance.
I have to say, I respectfully challenge a part of that, though. I mean, isn't it possible that some religious communities are just naturally cautious about unconventional expressions? I get that, but it still feels, well, exclusionary.
Yeah, that's a good point. The memoir doesn't shy away from critiquing those barriers. It shows the tension between institutional rigidity and personal spiritual authenticity. The author points to welcoming experiences at other churches, like in Steubenville and Bridgeville, where genuine connection trumps
Absolutely
dogma.
right. It really makes you think about what true spirituality is, doesn't it? It's not about the building or the rules, it's about embracing each other's humanity.
Absolutely. And then the narrative shifts to personal transformation through humor and performance. The you character, for instance, becomes this symbol of liberation, using a disguise to break down the walls
Yeah,
between himself and others.
it's like that concept of becoming someone else to be truly yourself. The costume is a gateway to revealing hidden parts of his identity.
Exactly, and that's one of the most fascinating parts. When he performs as Barney the Purple Dinosaur or even as Santa, it's not just about the laughter, it's about connection. Those moments of shared absurdity, like having a giant sunflower named Delilah, create bonds that are both
Mm.
silly and sacred.
And then there's the part about spiritual revelations, the four-part message. A storm is coming. They will scatter like cockroaches, the hemisphere opening, and it's time. It's like his journey loops back to the biblical narrative of Noah.
Right, and it's particularly striking how he ties personal events, like his brothers passing on a specific date and time, to these biblical allusions. It brings a sense of cosmic order to the chaos of life.
Yeah, it's almost eerie.
Definitely. And then the narrative moves into deep reflections on relationships, his evolving, complicated connection with Marie, the conflicts with his wife, and even moments of personal breakdown triggered by the weight of these spiritual encounters.
Absolutely. It's raw, isn't it? The emotional aftermath of trying to balance deep spiritual experiences with family life. Those tensions bring out the vulnerability of his journey.
Yes, exactly. There's this honest portrayal of his struggles, feeling misunderstood by his wife, the pain of being accused of caring more for others than for his own family, and yet in the chaos, he finds hope, forgiveness, and ultimately reconciliation with himself.
Right. That reconciliation seems to be internal most of all. A coming together of his various identities, from the flamboyant performer to the grieving brother and the devoted family man.
Right. It's like every event, every sign is a piece of a larger puzzle. The memoir teaches us that variables like generational loss, unexpected kindness, and even divine timing come together to shape who we are.
Absolutely. And then there's the epilogue, where he speaks about soul purpose and being a prophet in today's world. It's as if, after all that, he finally finds a way to blend the material with the spiritual.
Yes, the epilogue really wraps it up. It's not about foretelling the future, it's about accepting that every experience, no matter how painful, carries a message that you matter, that we all matter, and that our lives are connected by something immensely larger than ourselves.
Right on. I love that message. It reminds me of how small acts, like handing out a check for $1 million symbolizing faith in abundance, transform into powerful expressions of hope.
Exactly. That gesture, along with all the encounters at places like Eaton Park and Cracker Barrel, shows that generosity, humor, and a willingness to embrace the unexpected can
Yeah, it's
truly
so
change
compelling.
lives.
What really stands out is even when the world seems to turn upside down, like in those time shift episodes or in the harsh rejection at the church, there's an underlying current encouraging you to um, trust the process.
Right? It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound lessons come from the messy intersections of grief, suffering, and joy. You know, it's like the author turns every challenge into a stepping stone toward a deeper understanding of life.
Exactly. And isn't that the beauty of a memoir like this? It doesn't sanitize the experience, it lays it all out in front of us with humor, pain, and those tiny divine moments of clarity that often come when you least expect them.
Yeah, it's raw and unfiltered, yet every chapter is interwoven with the idea that everything happens for a reason. Even the paper nickel tale and those shared moments with waitresses underscore the theme of interconnectedness.
Absolutely right. I also appreciate how the author, while exploring these personal miracles, challenges us to look deeper at everyday events. That's the kind of perspective that really changes how you see life.
For sure, his experiences as a performer, whether as a purple dinosaur, Santa, or even a blind man, illustrate that our identities are fluid. We can shed our inhibitions and sometimes find that our true selves lie beyond societal
Mm,
expectations.
it's like the disguise isn't just a costume, it becomes a lens, a way to see the world with fresh eyes and to connect with others in spaces that are both ordinary and, if you think about it, miraculous.
Precisely. And in the end, all these anecdotes, loss, synchronicities, humor, spiritual revelations coalesce into a powerful call to remember that we are not isolated, that every person we meet and every sign we encounter is part of um, a tapestry of divine
Right,
purpose.
exactly. So, in reflecting on this memoir today, we can take away not only the intensity of human grief, but also the beauty of unexpected connections and the idea that our lives, with all their twists and turns, are ultimately woven together by meaning.
Yes, and it's a call for each of us to recognize and appreciate those moments, no matter how small they may seem. They remind us that in the grand scheme, we all have a role, a sole purpose that's larger than our individual pains and joys.
Agreed. I think that's exactly our takeaway that life is a multidimensional journey filled with signs, challenges, and bursts of humor that, when seen in retrospect, can guide us toward peace and reconciliation.
Definitely, whether you're reeling from loss, wrestling with time itself, or simply laughing at a quirky performance, remember that every experience is a piece of that great cosmic puzzle. And maybe, just maybe, it's our unique stories that teach us we truly matter. Thanks for joining
Absolutely
me on
right.
this deep dive.